Emerald Coast is the first level in Sonic Adventure, and it has been stuck in my head for over 25 years. This beach, all those loop-de-loops, the chase sequence with the killer whale, jumping across that gap with the lighthouse in the center, running across the walls, it's all burned into the back of my mind. I don't even think I would have the same nostalgia for Sonic Adventure if it weren't for the fact that my first time experiencing this game was with a playable demo. This was the first demo I had ever played, and I remember spending hours trying to master that first stage and get the best time. A lot of the games that I still think of to this day are most likely because of the sheer amount of time I spent messing around in those small vertical slices. Having the access, the privilege to be able to experience these games firsthand before deciding to purchase them, or in some cases having the bragging rights that I got to play these games before everyone else, it was amazing. Game demos were glorious back in the day. And the golden age for demos, what I think was the peak of video game demonstrations, was none other than on the Xbox 360. I still remember picking up that game magazine from the grocery store that had a playable demo disc of Lost Planet Extreme Condition. And my mind was blown by the graphics, the atmosphere, the way your footsteps would track in the snow, feeling like some special agent as I grappled down into some ice cave, ready to eradicate those insects like some type of exterminator. And piloting those mechs, don't even get me started on the mechs, man, because it was so awesome. I remember messing around in the Saints Row demo, stealing cars and holding up cashiers. Or what about the demo for Dead Rising in that first area of the mall, riding around on skateboards and smashing zombie heads with bowling balls? And just being amazed by how many zombies Capcom was able to fit on screen. I played the hell out of the Lego Star Wars demo, and that Crackdown demo too. Man, that game was sick. I think they gave you like an hour or something, and they just let you loose to wreak havoc through the city. But nothing compared to the demos on Xbox Live Arcade. Games like Super Meat Boy, Braid, Shadow Complex, Explosion Man, and Castle Crashers. My first true introduction with indie games were through these demos. But once the next generation of consoles came around, when things started becoming more digital, you started being able to see gameplay videos on YouTube at the same resolution as your console. Companies no longer felt the need to put time and resources into making these demos, especially when everything was a big franchise. Just go watch some gameplay footage, an early access review. There's no need to play a demo anymore. But today, seeing how badly these games launch, seeing how journalists get paid to show off these games, how these game trailers will have no gameplay, or just really quick cuts of gameplay, even the ones that show off raw, unedited gameplay footage, I feel like you just can't trust the quality of a game anymore. And yeah, sure, we always had the problem of games front-loading their best content at the very beginning of the game, and once you bought it, it was like, man, this shit is trash. But even that was way better than listening to these game journalists who played the game on the easiest difficulty, just beelining it all the way through, straight up lying about it sometimes, only playing the game for a few hours and pumping out a review as fast as possible. At least you could have an idea of whether or not you would enjoy a game. I thought game demos were dead, something that was just a relic of the past. But since I switched to PC, started getting into all of the Steam events like Next Fest, not only was I wrong, not only are game demos thriving over here on PC, they are absolutely killing it. I've only experienced the Next Fest a couple of times so far, but every single time I've hopped on Steam and downloaded like 10 demos at once, I walked away having that same feeling I used to have back on the Xbox 360. All those amazing Xbox Live Arcade games. So in the spirit of that golden age of game demos back in the day, I want to share some of the game demos that I've been playing, but I want to do it a little bit differently. Sure, I want to talk about the demos that I've been playing during this next fest, but I'm going to break the rules a little bit. I also want to talk about some of the amazing demos that you might have missed from other events, games that are coming out, games that are already out. Hell, I might even throw in a fan game. If it's a demo and I had a great time with it, that's all that matters to me. But enough talk. Have at you. Voidbreaker is the reason I refuse to play most modern shooters. They feel too slow. I want something fast and visceral. That's why you catch me playing a lot of boomer shooters, but more accurately for this game, movement shooters. Voidbreaker is fast as hell, and every fight feels like a playground of destruction. One of the best things a game can offer is player expression, and this game has it all. Double jumps, dashes, sliding across the ground while spraying your enemies, destructible environments. You could tell that the guy making this game, and I say guy because this is a solo dev project. Crazy, right? But anyways, you could tell that this guy is a huge fan of control. The way you can pull in objects and hurl them everywhere, leaving behind destruction in your path. I love how you can bring ceilings toppling down and all the dust and debris flying around as you break through windows and shit, gliding around these arenas, hitting jump pads and shit. And if you're not sold on this game yet, you can hit grind rails like Sonic the Hedgehog. In a world where AAA studios are spending hundreds of millions of dollars making boring ass sequels that we play and forget about within a couple of weeks, we have a single guy over here developing Tony Hawk's Pro Shooter. You bet your ass I'm excited for this game. Morbid Metal is a hack and slash game that I've been excited for months now, and I'm so happy we finally have a playable demo. This game has so many combo possibilities, giving you your light attacks, heavy attacks, cooldowns. You can even switch stances mid-combo. It kind of reminds me of Devil May Cry, switching weapons into your combos and stuff. This is what makes a good character action game. The reason why I can jump into games like Ninja Gaiden after all these years and the Azuna drop is ingrained in my muscle memory like riding a bike is because the main appeal of these games was looking cool as hell. I wanted to be Ryu Hayabusa. I wanted to be Dante, Kratos. Morbid Metal is so damn cool and I can't wait to get the full experience. Now here's where I break the mold and just go into game demos in general. If you know me, I'm a big fan of arcade racers and the street racing games like Burnout, Midnight Club, Need for Speed. When it comes to games like Forza and Gran Turismo though, I just can't get into them. Maybe it's because these games are designed for enthusiasts who have entire wheel setups or whatever, but me, I just don't get the appeal when it comes to sim racers. But Motor Town is a game that I can get behind because this game offers way more than just driving around a static racetrack. This game has to be one of the most in-depth simulators I've played. It has tons of vehicles, tons of ways to interact with those vehicles. It has its own economy. You can buy your own businesses. There's all types of jobs you can do to earn money. You could be a bus driver, a truck driver, a cabbie, paramedic, tow truck driver. And as a guy who enjoys single-player games, this is the first time in many, many years where I felt the urge to jump into multiplayer. This game is already out, it's $20 on Steam, but it has a demo, and I feel like the more people who know about this game and try it out, the better. Probably the most feature-rich demo on this list has to be The Big Catch. I'm so impressed by the size of this demo. Compared to a lot of 3D platformers, this feels like an entire game. It has platforming sections that are as big as entire levels in other 3D platformers. As soon as you're past the tutorial, you're let loose into an open world full of so much stuff to parkour on. It feels like Mario Odyssey mixed with Prince of Persia. If you've ever been disappointed in a demo that only offers a single level where you get maybe 30 minutes of gameplay if you're lucky, wishing it had more to sink your teeth in, this is the complete opposite. I have no idea how much more they're gonna add to this game, but holy shit. Most demos, I uninstall them after I'm done with them, but this one has kept me coming back for months. If you're a Mario fan, if you like collectathon games, this is one of the best out there, which is saying something considering it's just a demo. But if you're a Doom fan, if you're into Doom mods, you're probably familiar with Total Chaos. For me, I was aware of its existence, but never ended up playing it when it was originally released. And now we're over here seeing this game completely remade from the ground up. And this game was originally running on classic Doom. It blows my mind. What we have here feels like a mix of BioShock and Resident Evil. I do not like this game, but in a good way, not because I think it's bad. I don't like it because of how panic-inducing it is to play. I was the type of person that came into Resident Evil 7 and stood there frozen in front of those creepy corridors. I'm used to the action survival horror games like Resident Evil 4, 5, Dead Space. I was usually able to get past the horror easily considering that I'm always playing as an absolute badass. But when I experienced true survival horror, I understood why the fan base was so split on Resi 4 back in the day. Why these games are actually great. And games like Total Chaos where you can feel helpless at times. I don't know what it's like further in the game, but as soon as I got lost in those maze-like corridors and my pickaxe broke, then I'm suddenly being chased by something evil trying to kill me. I had to put the controller down for a moment. That feeling I had in Alien Isolation, that motherfucker that was spawn camping my ass from the vents in the ceiling ready to impale me. These games have a tendency to put the fear of God in me, and as soon as I'm ready to grow a pair of balls, I want to jump back in. The fact that this game was able to trigger an emotional response in me that intense lets me know why this game is so loved. Dead as Disco is a rhythm fighting game in the style of Hi-Fi Rush mixed with Batman Arkham. You know those games you play for the first time, and in the whole time you're playing you just have a huge ass grin on your face from ear to ear? That's this game. This game slaps so hard I can't even begin to describe it. What makes this game unique though is that it lets you import your own songs, so you can instantly load in one of your favorite songs and fight to the music. What's even crazier is when you realize that your character is landing hits to the rhythm of the song. Just check out this gameplay of me fighting to Jet Set Radio.
Let's look at the funk.
Holy crap, this demo was so fucking fun. Do you like games like Shadow of the Colossus, Devil May Cry, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, a little bit of Nier Automata? V.A Proxy is a game that I'm surprised doesn't get enough attention. I mean, come on, this game lets you pogo off of missile barrages like a damn anime. And you can parry everything. You can parry the ground. You can parry a nuclear explosion. You fight these huge ass bosses, and the verticality of this game is insane. That's where the Shadow of Colossus comes in, because it just feels bigger than life. I'm someone who hates to use fast travel in open world games, and the method of fast travel in this game, slingshotting you into the air across the map, I'm gonna abuse that shit just because it's so damn fun. The skill ceiling in this game is so insane too. I love just going on YouTube and watching other people play this game. It's like watching the season finale of a damn anime. I really, really want to see this game blow up.
V.A Proxy.
Another game I'm hyped for, and this was at the Game Trailer Awards show, is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black not too long ago after it was shadow dropped, and though it wasn't my perfect version of Ninja Gaiden, I'd rather just play the original. I still had a hell of a time, and I was so happy this legendary character Ryu Hayabusa was being seen by so many new people. I feel the same way with Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, because it's taking the 2D Ninja Gaiden formula and it's bringing it into the modern era. This pixel art style is so beautiful, and guess what? It's being worked on by the same people that made Blasphemous. As soon as I heard that the Game Kitchen was developing this game, I instantly perked right up. I wouldn't want any other studio working on this game. It plays like you would expect, like a classic Ninja Gaiden game, but with a little bit of The Messenger mixed in with it. If there's one game I'm excited for next month, it's this one. I got my fingers crossed for Grounded 2, but I know Ragebound is not going to disappoint. Now, if you know me, I was pretty vocal about the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, and people did not like my thoughts and opinions on that game. One game I did enjoy though, and it has a banger of a demo by the way, is Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon, which is a much better game that you should play instead. Screw you, Bethesda. This game is dark, it's gritty, the combat is amazing, the character building is awesome. It goes for a smaller but more densely packed world. It's basically like the Elder Scrolls, but if an official game was actually made by the fans. This game did not need to be packed with this much content. I mean, come on. This game even has an in-depth cooking system that you're actually incentivized to engage with. You can literally buy houses and furnish them yourself instead of a few modular upgrades. There's so much lore and world building in this game, and the best thing about it is that it's an RPG where your choices actually matter, with huge branching quest lines. Just wait till you play that demo. You can see the quality for yourself. There's also a few more game demos that I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to stretch this video out of proportion. Schedule 1 is a video game that doesn't need any introduction, and that free sample demo had me hooked for like 4 hours straight before I went ahead and bought the game. There's also Deficit, which I have installed, but I haven't played it yet. I seen the trailer though, and I was like, wait, is this a new immersive sim? It looks a little bit like Prey, and it's got this really sick hand-to-hand combat that kind of reminds me of Condemned: Criminal Origins, if you remember that game. Absolute classic, by the way. Then I don't even know why I downloaded this game. It's called Davy Jones. Seriously, I do not remember installing this demo, but it was in my library, so I guess there you go. I seen the trailer and it looks like this sick-ass shooter game with pirates. And knowing me, I probably hit the download button just because I saw pirates. Everything I thought I lost on console feels like it's been perfectly preserved here on PC. Actually being able to own my games like back in the day when we had physical media, I've been able to do that, have that same experience buying games from GOG. every time a new console would come out with shitty backwards compatibility, well, I don't have to worry about that because we have infinite backwards compatibility on PC. Pretty much every game I've ever played back in the day is backwards compatible through emulation. And just loading up Steam, I can play games that are over 20 years old and they're not even remasters. I can have that original experience just with better performance and higher resolution, which that's what a remaster should be outside of, a little bit of quality of life. And just like this whole demo situation, everything I missed about playing demos over and over again, the feeling of popping in that demo disc in my console from those gaming magazines, all those cool ass Xbox Live Arcade demos I used to play back in the day. Every time there's a new Next Fest on Steam, I get to have access to thousands of upcoming indie games. It's why I'm not buying a Nintendo Switch 2 or Xbox's ROG Ally. That's probably going to be over $1,000. I already have that experience with the Steam Deck. I already have that next-gen performance with my desktop PC, and that thing ain't even new. I'm using a 40 series graphics card, and it blows every current console out of the water. A lot of games I'm the most nostalgic for are games that had demo. I remember them because I had hands-on experience with them. I played them over and over again until I could experience the real thing. Not only that, when a publisher releases a demo, it shows that they have confidence in the product, that they're being transparent, that they're not trying to trick me with some cinematic trailer with no gameplay. You get to have that small dose of the real thing, and that's something special. That's the best form of marketing. That's what generates word of mouth. That's why solo dev projects like Schedule 1 blew up in the first place. It didn't have any marketing. So, in the spirit of game demos, my first time experiencing them in this video with a little fan project that I got to try out. It's a demo of a game I've been playing over and over again. A demo. That same feeling of the first time I booted up Sonic Adventure and got to experience Emerald Coast for the first time. Here you go.